Hey guys, welcome. Today we have something a little bit different. I got quite a few requests from my last two videos asking what my settings are, and it's been some time since I last posted my updated settings. After this video, we'll be back to our normal scheduled program of Rust solo content, so enjoy. Settings, one of the most important things that you can control in this game. Having the right settings will transform your gameplay to levels you never thought you could reach. And now for the settings. Starting off with the game settings, pretty straightforward here. Moving over to controls, control layout, make sure your special action, your L1 button says head look. If you never changed this before, it probably for you will say no action. Make sure that says head look. This will allow you to look to your left and to your right while sprinting forward. Next up, vibration, make sure all of this is off. Aim assist does not matter. Your player belt cycle mode, filled slots only. This will allow you to cycle through your player belt without going into the empty slots. You can disable quick chat and gestures if you'd like. Auto sprint on. This will allow you to sprint forward all while checking your inventory and dropping things. Camera control type, digital boost, and then 285%. Your sensitivity, 89% for me. If this is too fast for you guys, you can go ahead and turn it down. Now we have our ADS with iron sights, which is 69% for me. And then my one-time scope, so the hollow scope, is going to be 69% as well. Now for your 4x, it's a little bit slower for mine. You can change this if you'd like, if you want it to be a little bit higher. But for me, 65% has been really good. Now for the bow sensitivity, I wouldn't have anything lower than 80. Having a higher bow sensitivity will allow you to hit shots easier, and you'll be able to flick onto targets easier as well. So as soon as you get used to having a high sensitivity with the bow, you're gonna see a lot of benefits come from that. Now for your dead zone, now these two settings here are some of the most important settings. The lower your dead zone is, the more responsive your analog is. So if I have a 50 dead zone, I have to really move my analog for it to make any difference in the game, right? So the lower it is, the more responsive your analogs are. So if you get used to having a very, very low dead zone, your recoil is going to improve. You're going to be able to make adjustments, micro adjustments very easy. Now, if you're not used to having a low dead zone, I would just either go from 10 to 0 and get used to it, or slowly drop it. And then over time, just keep getting lower and lower and lower. And that's going to be the end of the controls. Let's head into the HUD settings. Now HUD visibility for me is full. I have the smallest scale, 75%, 100% opacity, and then I have everything on to give me more intel in the game, my ping, my stance, my inventory. Now for audio, my master audio volume is 100, menu music 0, 0, SFX volume 100, 85, 100, and then 85, 10. And my audio mix is standard. I used to run boost, but then I would get this audio bug that I know a lot of players get, and moving it to standard did help me not have it as much. Now for graphics. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we can change in the graphic settings to make our game look so good. The reason my game looks so good is because of my editing software. I add contrast and saturation to make the game more appealing for my viewers. I also recommend for you guys to go into your monitor settings, change your contrast, saturation, and brightness to make your game look more appealing. But for my graphic settings, I have off, 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 and then terrain quality is either low for me or very low. Depending on the server that I'm in, I never go much higher than low. The reason for this is, yes, this does say it increases the quality of the terrain and all these things, but in my opinion, it really does not change much. What you're really doing is impacting your game and how it runs, lowering your FPS, and making your game lag more, which we don't want. Also, make sure to turn your FPS limit off, Now for your field of view, I recommend having a much lower field of view. 83 is what I usually rock, and then 87 is what I rock when I'm just prim. But this allows you to see enemies at greater distances, and also you're able to see their head and be able to accurately aim for the head much easier. So I would definitely recommend, if you guys have always just used 90 FOV, to try 83 and just see how much easier it is. It's actually crazy. And that's all the settings that we can change right now. I hope 2025 is a big year for Rust Console and we're able to tweak a lot more in our settings, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it brought you some sort of help. If you have any other questions or video recommendations for me to make, leave them in the comments below. Next wipe, we'll be back playing solo Rust, and if you guys like that sort of content and you want to see more of it, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next solo story.